did this.
People like
Yeah.
Do you guys still update that other
no,
thing?
That's what I like about it. If the person truly does that, I mean, I
Oh, it's
truly
happened to me on a
believe
couple times.
That's the first
that's
time.
the major.
I'll have
that I
to
would
ask
give
them
it.
why.
What major?
First I was thinking because we kept, well, we
Did you guys have a nice New Year's?
We did. Very quiet.
We use 6A,
Very
6B, 6C all
Yeah.
the time, so if it, for some reason,
Watched the
has a
movie.
different one
Nice.
attached.
Watch the ball drop.
Did you? I didn't
well.
even stay up that late.
Well, we watched it in New York, so it was only 11.
I'll try to figure out what's going on that one.
That's one major I could.
How about you guys?
Yeah, we didn't do much. That's okay.
Yeah.
No, they, they went, the biggest thing that they.
Call the meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nelson. Larson.
Here.
Wunschel.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Reed. Bulk.
Here.
Orison.
Here.
Okay, item 3, consent agenda. Item A is a motion to approve the city council minutes of December 19, 2022. Item B is a motion to approve the licenses, renewal of Class C liquor license for Spencer Bowl, subject to final approval by the Iowa ABD. And C is a resolution authorizing permanent transfer of funds of budgeted transfers for the month ending December 31, 2022.
Sorry, we do have Plaza Mexico.
Oh, and we do have license for Plaza Mexico as well.
I move
Okay,
the agenda.
motion made by Donovan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tracy. Any discussion? Please vote by machine.
Larson, I. Wunschel, I. Hanson, I. Reed, I. Bulk, I. Orison.
Aye.
Consent agenda carries. Item 4, public hearings, we have none and we have no old business, so we will move to new business. Item 6, item A is a resolution approving transfer of surplus property from the Spencer Municipal Water Utility to the city and approving real estate gift agreement located at Lot 3 of the replat of Lot 27, Spencer Municipal Utilities Addition, City of Spencer, Iowa, and Lots 28 and 29. Motion made by Bill,
I'll second it.
second by Donovan. And before we move on here with discussion, I've asked Don to explain this. I know we got some very nice graphics in our packet, but to the general public, that doesn't do much good. So, Don.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the culmination of a rather long process. Historically, the area of Pedersen Park, east 10th Street, was owned and titled in the name of Spencer Municipal Utilities, and they had some facilities and operations there. Over time, they've become less involved there. Pedersen Park has grown. This property, though still titled in the name of SMU, is actually been developed and used for ball fields and parking as part of the Pedersen Park complex. Their water utility had to go through some processes and meet some requirements before they could complete this gift to the city. They've done that, and they're now tendering the gift to the city. I think Bob believes that this is a good thing, that we're already essentially using and maintaining the property, and it's appropriate that it be titled in the name of the city. One additional aspect is that the utilities allowed the hospital to construct a small storage building on a portion of the property and has leased the space under the storage building to the hospital. It's a year-to-year lease, automatically renewable. I checked with the hospital. It's used for general storage of things that they don't currently need, but they might need. As they explained, they would like to continue it. They would miss it if they didn't have it available. So I expect that the use of the property will continue just as it has. The maintenance responsibility will really be as it has, but the title will be in the city rather than SMU.
Okay, thank you, Don. Any questions for Don or any discussion?
Can you tell me what,
Who is currently maintaining that property? We already are as a city.
The question, I don't know if everyone heard that from Councilman Orison, was who's maintaining that property at this time? And I believe it's the city.
Yeah, there's two ball fields
Yeah.
actively in use on the
Yeah.
property.
I want to make sure everybody understood that.
Okay. Yep, thank you.
I'm like an attorney wannabe. I know the answer to the question.
Good point.
can you remind me what lot numbers we're talking about here?
28, 29, and I think it's about the east half of
27?
27. That was, lot 27 was replatted, and that doesn't show on the, over on the aerial that you've got, but it's about half of that.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else? Please vote by machine.
Larson, I. Wunschel, I. Hanson, I. Reed, I. Bulk, I. Orison.
Aye.
Okay. Item B is a motion to approve purchase of a snow plow for the Park Department from Rooney's Auto, Emmetsburg, Iowa, in the amount of $10,180.04.
I'll make a motion on that, Mayor.
Motion made by Ron,
I'll second.
second by Brian. And Bob Fullhart to come up and talk about this request.
Yeah, so basically what we're doing here, we had one of our plow trucks break down. We're at a point that we don't know what that's gonna cost to repair. We have a couple existing trucks that would, or one existing truck that'd be easy to switch over into one of our plow trucks. And we're just gonna take funds that we had set aside for an ATV or UTV that we're not seeing as something that's real usable for us yet in the park system. So we'll take some of those funds, transfer that over to get this plow. With what the snow situations that we've been having, the more equipment we can have available right now, it just makes everything easier so we can stay on top of stuff.
Okay. Any questions for Bob on this?
Yeah, Bob, on the Parks Department, how much, or how many areas just kind of for, that you guys plow? And with this truck, is it gonna be too big for some of the areas, or you feel that it's gonna be a better addition than?
It'll be the same size as what the other 3/4 ton pickup that we already have. So matching wise, it'll match our existing equipment out there.
Okay.
So to be too big, no, we won't be too big. We'll be the same as what we already have. It'll be a newer truck, so we'll have less potential mechanical issues with it in the long run.
Well, my concern on the trails, because I know you guys clear the trails on damage or anything with the
Yep.
weight of the, I know it's gonna be a heavier plow or.
No, it'll be the same weight basically as what our one other existing truck that we have out there. So we shouldn't be any heavier than what we were already.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Bob, does this price include install of like a bracket or a kit or?
That should be everything.
That's everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that should be everything completed on the truck.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Bob. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C is a motion to approve aquatic center evaluation from Water Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $6,900.
I'll make a motion on that.
Motion made by Ron,
I'll second it.
second by Donovan, and I'll send this over to Dan to talk about this and what this proposal actually does for the Aquatic Center.
The Aquatic Center was evaluated back in 2017, and there was some deficiencies were noted, and some of those have been fixed, and some of those hadn't. The immediate safety issues were fixed, but that's been 5 years ago or so, and when they did the planning for the WOW projects, they used that old 2017 study to plan ahead, and that's just it's got 5 more years of age on it, and some stuff has been fixed, and we're just looking for an update of the plan. It's the same company and same person that did it before. So bringing in somebody from out of town for $6,900 is fairly reasonable and it's only because he did the first part, so he knows what he's looking for. But I think in order for us to plan to move forward, I think we need an updated study of the condition of the pool as of this year.
Okay. Any questions for Dan or any discussion?
And I agree that we do need to find a baseline and have some information on that pool and see what is out there. So I think it's a great idea. He saw it 5 years ago. He should have knowledge, so he should see what the deterioration is from 5 years ago, and we should be able to at least get that information and see where we stand.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item D is a proposal for retail coach, and we have 2 options on this. One is to approve the proposal from Retail Coach for retail recruitment in the amount of $20,000, or table the action on the proposal and take it up at further meeting. Would entertain either of those proposals.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to table this and just do a little bit more research.
Okay. So
I'm not-
your motion is to table.
Table it, correct.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second Ron's motion.
Okay. Seconded by Brian to table the action. Okay, any discussion? Now, Ron.
I did hear a lot of good things on when we did have that meeting before the council meeting, so it's not that I'm against it. I did like to hear, I heard some good things. I just want to talk to a few people and just kind of get some information.
Okay. Anyone else?
Is there from your perspective, Dan, is there a timetable that you would like to see? I know you'd prefer to seek action tonight, but if we table this, who should bring, is it a long-term planning? Is it economic development? Which committee should pick it up? And give us some kind of a timeline you'd like to see, because we can talk about it for a long time and not make any action. That doesn't mean I'm pushing for it. I think we just need a timeline so we can keep the ball moving down the road and not let it slip one way or the other.
Sure. We're not in a huge hurry to do it, but we should get going at some point. So sometime in the next 2 meetings, I think I'll try to schedule a Zoom meeting, and maybe we might want to do that as a committee of the whole rather than a small committee. If I can get this, so this guy on for a Zoom, which he would agree to do. It's just a matter of scheduling and when we can all meet. That way, y'all can see the same information at the same time. And I'll reach out to the cities in Iowa that have used them and get that information that I was asked for. Might be ready in 2 weeks, but certainly within 4 weeks we'd be ready.
And just to follow up, I wasn't at the committee of the whole. So what I had heard from your comments, Dan, is that the other councilmen that were there have given you some questions that they would like to have follow-up on?
Yes, Councilman Balk wanted me to call the 3 or 4 or 5 cities in Iowa that are using them and get their firsthand experience with them, and I will do that yet this week.
Okay. The only other comment I have is that Mayor and I have talked about it several times. I think what is to move this forward, and maybe we can talk about it in the next committee meeting, I do believe we need to have some sort of a timeline, and a reporting back process, if we do agree to go ahead with it, so that we've got a consistent report back to the council, whether it be monthly or bi-monthly, whatever the case, so that we know that it's just not sitting on the shelf and it's moving forward and we're getting action or we're not getting action.
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
It'll give us a better baseline if we decide we want to renew it and move it forward.
Yeah, I think those comments are well taken, Bill.
Okay, that's my only comment.
Okay? Anyone else? Okay, so we have a motion and a second to table the action on the proposal for retail coach. And along with that are some marching orders, I think, to get information to the council and take it up at a later date. So at this point, what I would like to do is just have a vote by machine on this proposal. This is to table the action.
So a yes is to table.
Yes is to table.
Larson, I. Winchell, I. Hanson, I. Reed, I. Volk, I. Orison.
Aye.
Okay, so the motion to table has passed, and we'll get more information and move forward with this at a later date. Okay, item 7, department head reports. Planning Department, Adam?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. December permit report is out for your viewing pleasure from the Planning Department. With the current weather alongside of holidays, permits and inspections have decreased slightly. Staff performed the snow sidewalk removal inspections and reported the results to the contractor for the December 9th and December 25th recorded snow events. Week by week, I'm still receiving interest on the RFP I have out for the removal of 2 structures up at the North Y intersection, with the expected proposals deadline of January 2023 and the removal being June of 2023. With the month going forward, Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is Wednesday, January 11th, and we have a Historic Preservation Commission meeting Tuesday, January 24th. And the end of the month, on January 26th, the Planning Department will be hosting the Northwest Iowa Inspectors Meeting here in the council chambers. Other than that, the department is performing inspections as they come in and assisting the developmental needs of the community. Any questions?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, the library report, Sarah Beth is not here tonight. One thing on her report, I think she has a written report for everyone at Art Places. One thing that I did want to accentuate, and that is that on Thursday, January 19th, at 6:30 in the council chambers, there is going to be a program on sexting and sextortion, and there will be a panel of experts, including the county attorney, Travis Johnson, Kim Smith from Shared Hope International, and Andrea Keeling, and staff members from the Family Crisis Center. And I think this is a very timely program, and they've put a lot of effort and time into this. The other thing is that these same folks are going to be doing a similar type of program for much of the school system during an in-service. So hopefully be very informative. So with that, Fire Chief.
Happy New Year, Mayor, Council, Manager. Your past December, your city fire department answered over 55 calls, breaking down into 30 EMS calls, largely fall victims, difficulty breathing, abdominal pains, and seizures, to mention a few. Fire calls, we had a couple of gas leaks in some homes, as well as CO calls. We had more than what we would have hoped for, but again, that's what we're there for, is to make sure that you're safe. Also working with, we had a sprinkler pipe burst in the freezing cold weather, and we did, during the blizzard, we had a mutual aid call with Fostoria. Our service ambulance, that sits in our station, answered a couple of calls as well, from behavioral issues to difficulty breathing to some fall victims. Trainings, we oversaw working with advanced EMTs, tool locations, as well as pre-plan the local plant that's formerly known as Isonova. Our special duty, which was really a good time of year during the holidays, we got to bring Santa Claus to town with the Grand Meander. We were allowed to help adopt a family with Upper Des Moines and deliver some toys. We had an opportunity to speak to the Spencer Ministry Group. And lastly, we went ahead and we had Spencer Reed's visit the fire station, where we got to oversee and share a couple of 3 different books with over 80 children as well as parents. With the help of Jacob Franker as well as Trent Shin, we entertained these young people. One of the great things I'd like to take away with as the young people, we had a couple of people adopt a fire hydrant as well, after reading the book. So I thought that was really great. Other than that, those are some of the things that are happening in your community and your fire station at this time. Any questions? Cool.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Go ahead, Actor.
Police, Lieutenant Van Arloo, taking the place of Chief Warburton. I think there might be some walleyes in jeopardy, evidently.
Sitting up there in that freezing cold weather. And more power to them, or as we used to say, fair trade. Anyway, good evening to you guys up here and ladies sitting up here. My name's Kyle Van Otterloo here to do the end of the year, the 2022 year report, and then hit up on a few things this last month. Just to give you some total numbers, we handled 15,479 complaints last year. In 2021, we handled a total of 17,161, so about a 2,000 complaint difference. In arrests this last year, we had 407, the year before 359, so a little more proactive, looking for things. I would like to think that comes from our patrol becoming a little bit older, and maybe instead of making 50 traffic stops, they make 5 traffic stops looking for something that will benefit the entire city instead of just writing a ticket to an out-of-towner. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm hopeful for. But then our traffic stops here, which does show that also. We ran at about just shy of 3,600 traffic stops for the entire year. 2 years ago, we were just shy of 5,000 traffic stops. So I honestly thought that number would be higher this year because the year before was like post-COVID. But like I said, I think it's because we got a department that is getting a little bit older, and they're settling in just a little bit on that one there. With that also being said here, tonight we do have a snow event that is currently going on. So all residents who'd be watching this here, we ask that you remove your vehicles from the street here by midnight tonight. They are also talking with the street department. They are also going to get downtown done as well. So get it all done and over with. Hopefully no more snow tomorrow. And then we will have a bright, balmy weather, hopefully by next week. Here just a few weeks ago, Shiloh Brevick, who used to be our investigator, just took a new position with Milford as their chief of police. So we do applaud him for that. It's sad to see one of our guys go, but anybody who betters themselves, I cannot complain on that. We were very fortunate that we were able to hire an officer pretty quickly to replace him, who is Turner Soden. Turner comes from Hartley, was with the Clay County Jail. I'm not sure how long he was with them, but he is now currently one of our officers. Just left for the academy yesterday, actually started today, and that's a 4-month process, plus a 3.5-month training program that we have here within the city. So you're looking probably August, September, if my math is right, before he's on the street on his own. We also did Shop with a Cop this year. We do it every year where we find 5 awesome kids that go along with the officers from our department. We give them X amount of money, head down to Walmart, and basically let those kids have free reign. What's super cool to see is the majority of the kids, now I didn't participate this year, actually want to look for their family. And that's the part I think that means the most to me over the years of helping out. I can only imagine that this year was the same. They then come back, they actually came here to City Hall to wrap their gifts, eat pizza, and it's, in my mind, a great way to break that wall down again, to let the kids know that we are here just to have fun. We got a job to do, but we can also have a good time with that. Officer Lynch, who is our defensive tactics instructor, went down to Des Moines for a full week here. I think it was last week, might be in the week before Christmas, just to, add on to his defensive tactics. It's one of those things we see now in the news, and there's a lot of eyes on how we do our job out there. And so any way that can teach us, that train the trainer, can come back to us, also benefits not only us, but the city as well. And then the one thing that I want to talk about real quick here that Chief Orbiton may have talked about last month, myself along with School Resource Officer Hansen, Officer Getman, and Dispatcher Rasmussen went down to Omaha for a 3-day training on peer support. Peer support, basically what it breaks down to is your peers supporting the individuals that you work with during a tragic or a tragic event type thing. It's been implemented. We have not used it yet, which is wonderful, but we know that that day will happen. The state of mental health with law enforcement, public safety, the fire department, EMS, nurses, that type of stuff is a brand new thing that's really come out in the last couple of years. And I am tickled pink that Chief Orbiton was on board with that. And I'm glad that we had a group of officers and a dispatcher, because they hear just as much as we see on that phone line. So that has been implemented. And then last but not least, there's a snow event if nobody knew. So thank you guys.
Okay, thanks. Public Works, Mark.
Good evening. As previously mentioned, I think snow is probably one of the biggest topics for us right now as the weather continues to not give us much time off. We've, ongoing snow operations during the month. The crews are still plowing as we're having this meeting right now. As Kyle mentioned, we will be doing the downtown pickup. Special thanks goes out to those guys, and Mark Glander has been leading the street division and worked through the whole holiday season, every day of the Christmas season. It just didn't give us a break, but in the quest to make the streets safe and do what we can with resources, they do a great job, and I really appreciate it. Solid Waste, they work through the holiday hours as well, not working, but they had the holiday altered schedule. And, I might remind folks, if they like our Facebook page, there's a lot of information that can go out on that and keep you updated, talk about the schedule and the recycling schedule. And anytime we have a holiday, we push it back one day. And it's just kind of a nice reminder. Also has the snow ordinance when that goes into effect, along with other pertinent information. A little bit with the solid waste division, we're having some issues with snow being a little more than we've been used to lately in the last few years, with snow pushed up against dumpsters and contractors maybe inadvertently put it in the wrong spot, and we just simply can't pull all those out. There's going to be a few that aren't going to be dumped until they can get cleaned in front of it, and we haven't had to do that. We just haven't had that type of snowfall, but it's makes those days pretty long. Landfill's fully staffed with full-time folks. We will be looking for seasonal as we move into the spring. Of course, as we talked about recently, doesn't take long, and spring is on the way. So the future projects that we have in plan will be received sand and mixed chloride next week. Also, Solid Waste Division will be working on refurbishing containers. Thanks to Dan bringing a little different approach to our year-end report. Public Works has not yet completed our year-end report because it's going to be changed, and we're going to include by the numbers, Spencer by the numbers, so it'll have a lot of quick read information from the other departments included with the Public Works report. Brian Moore submitted hours mowed at the golf course just today, for an example, and we'll have, of course, sewer cleaning would be one of my favorite topics of how many feet they're cleaned, but along with other information, it'll be kind of a quick read, and we'll look forward to that. Other than that, Public Works, CIP projects, and working on budget type things.
Thanks, Mark. Any questions?
Thank you.
Parks and Rec, Bob?
Thank you. So the main things going on in the parks right now is snow removal. Been clearing trails, getting things opened up as much as we possibly can. We do have a few sections of the trails that are gonna remain closed for a while until the weather cooperates and makes it a little more available for us. Those 3 areas that we have there, those key areas, south of Walmart is gonna be one of those spots, the fairgrounds parking lot, and then north of Casey's. There is a few stretches of that spot of north of Casey's there that's open, but there's just too big of drifts that's just filling back in too fast on us, and we won't be able to keep them clear at this point in time. We do have our S'mores and Blazing Pine event coming up that is hosted by the Love Where You Live committee. That'll be on January 14th, so there'll be a lot of stuff happening down in West Leach Park and East Leach Park for that. We do have the ice skating rink that we're working on down there. The weather obviously isn't cooperating real well with that, but we're getting at it, and we should have that ready to go for that. And then one of the other big things we have coming up is January 19th, we have the urban fishery biologist with the DNR coming in. He's going to do a little work with us to see what we can do to improve some fishing out at Stolly's. So that's one of the upcoming projects. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. They have a lot of information already out there for us. So I'm kind of excited to see what they can come together there for us. Any questions?
Thanks, Bob. Golf course, Brian is not here tonight, but he gave a pretty thorough report, as he always does on Sunday morning. City Attorney's report, Don.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, my report, I brought you a written report, which is the annual report of the city attorney prescribed by ordinance. It's before you, looks like this. So I hope you can take a few moments to take a look at that.
Okay, any questions for Don? Okay, Human Resources, Jessica.
Good evening. The month of December was another busy month for me, although I snuck in a vacation. That was pretty nice to stay home and during the blizzard. We have filled all of our open positions, so we currently have no openings other than the volunteer firefighter positions. We do have a few openings still there if anyone in the community would like to apply. That is available on our careers page on the website. The city staff enjoyed a hot homemade soup lunch provided by the Wellbeing Group. Those committee members decided to make soups and sides for everybody, and that was a really great event. We took home lots of yummy leftovers from each other, so that was nice. Dispatcher Julie Bremer retired last week after nearly 40 years with us in dispatch, so that's a pretty awesome milestone. We do have our new dispatcher starting on the 9th. She came in today and shadowed for a while, so we're very excited to say our dispatch crew will be completely filled up. I participated for the first time in the interview process for a new volunteer firefighter, and he's currently going through the onboarding process, and he should be on staff by the end of the month, if not the first week of February. My compliance training with the volunteer firefighters was postponed due to that blizzard we had, so that will be held on January 19th. That's my dispatcher position that was already filled. The staff performance review check-in conversations are nearly completed by all of the city supervisors. They're taking that intentional time to check in with staff on their annual goals as we come up to the next year. City employees also completed their annual physicals. And the police chief, fire chief, and I completed a law enforcement and service training on investigation compliance. That was a very informative in-service. And we also adopted as an organization 3 seniors through Upper Des Moines, and city staff were very generous in their gifts, and that was fun to drop off. And I'm happy to report that next week we'll be approaching with 1-year mark without days lost due to an injury. So the safety committee is working on a way to celebrate that. We will likely use the Wellbeing Fund for that.
And last month's safety training was on snow plow safety, which was very timely by Michael Rayner, who always does a fabulous job. And this month, he's going to do new hire safety and adult infant CPR and AED training. So, any questions for me? That was a lot.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Engineers report, Ross.
Good evening. Quick update on a couple projects. The 2023 East 4th Street reconstruction project, we had a pre-bid meeting today that was required for the CDBG grant. City staff, Northwest Iowa Planning, and potential bidders were attended that meeting. Just a reminder, that project goes out for bids on January 18th through the DOT. That is the bid letting date. For the North Y Gateway project, we're narrowing in on final design. I've been working on easements and agreements. We plan to meet with city staff tomorrow to review a few of the design details. And then we'll be looking to push forward with final plans, specifications, and be looking to submit permits to the DNR for approval. So I know Jim did say something about getting together with the council to review that project at some point here. So other than that, we got a couple other small projects in the works for you too. We got the Fifth Avenue East Sidewalk project and all the annual maintenance projects coming up. So be a lot of work coming out for bid here in the next two months or so. So any questions?
Any questions for us? Okay, thanks, Ross.
Thank you.
City managers report, Dan?
I have a few things. As Mark mentioned, I got an example from, I think it was Haywarden of by the numbers thing, which is, I thought was pretty neat, which is all kinds of little trivial numbers on all kinds of different stuff we do in all departments that people might not think about. So we're going to try to put something like that together. And there's, as you hear about every month, there's lots of numbers out there, and it'd be kind of nice to share them in a really easy, digestible way on a one-sheet program that we can share on our website and whatnot, which should turn out pretty neat. Well, I know the one that Haywarden did was very well received with their citizens, so I'm hoping this will be the same. We're going to also, the engineer said, we're going to meet tomorrow. I'll talk about North Y. It was a status check and update and make sure that's all moving along like it should. We're also going to meet at some point in the next couple of weeks with the SEDC people are going to meet to talk about we talked about streamlining the process at one point. We need to get back together because Don had some good input we need to digest and reevaluate where we're going with that. But we're trying to make that more efficient and still include relevant stakeholders, and that's kind of a difficult task. You don't want to have too big of a committee, but you want to try to include people as well. So we'll get that done. And lastly, all the information that we've gathered on Simrise has went to McClure, and we're expecting a report. Is it the end of this week, Adam? Yeah, so the end of this week. So we'll have a update for you probably next Monday on what the McClure said. If we get that on Friday, like promised. And that's it.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Under the mayor's report, first of all, I hope everyone had a good holiday season. And I just want to give thanks to city staff for the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've been pretty tough. I mean, to deal with the holidays and then with the weather that we've had. Everybody who's had to be clearing the snow, the street division, parks, solid waste, they had a tough go of it, as Mark alluded to. And then also our public safety folks out in this weather, they have a tremendous job to do in that kind of weather. They have a tremendous job to do anytime, but the weather doesn't make it any easier. So I think that everybody throughout the city should be commended for their efforts in the last 2 or 3 weeks and what they've done to keep the city moving forward during a blizzard and during a very busy holiday season. So with that, council and committee reports.
We have a finance committee meeting on the 5th at 9 a.m. We're gonna talk about CIP and a few other minor clarifications that we need that involve finance, and then the regular city council meeting on the 16th.
Okay, item 12, entertain a motion to approve the bills and claims.
Mr. Mayor, I went through them, had a couple of questions for Brian, got answered, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion made by Bill,
I'll second.
second by Brian. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 13, other business opportunity to address the council. Seeing none, we'll go to item 14, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Donovan,
Second.
second by Tracy. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting adjourned. Bill playing the cello now?